31-year-old Jonathan Pullman is behind bars, charged with murder and abuse of a corpse after a body was found buried in his backyard in St. Francis County, Arkansas. The St. Francis County Sheriff's Office said that on the 30th of December, they executed a search warrant at a property along County Road 410 in Forest City after receiving a tip. Investigators located a body buried behind a camper, which they estimate to have been there since early December. Lieutenant Travis Hill says that Jonathan lives in the house on the property, and neighbours say that other people live there too. One neighbour said that he heard suspicious activity on the property before. "It freaks me out because around Halloween, I saw somebody out there with a light, and I knew they were behind the trailer, and they had dogs out there," he said. The body's been sent to a state lab to determine the person's identity and the exact cause of death. Lieutenant Hill said, "I can't release information on how the person was killed. I can tell you I have enough information." And Mr. Pullman was charged, he said. The Sheriff's Office has not released a motive for the murder. Jonathan is held at the St. Francis County Detention Center on a $250,000 bond. Officials say further arrests are likely, and the investigation is ongoing. A 12-year-old girl is in custody after fatally stabbing a 9-year-old brother in Tulsa, Oklahoma this week. At 11:43 p.m. on Thursday, the 5th of January, authorities responded to the Riverbank Plaza apartment complex, located along 6518 South Newport Avenue, after receiving a call from a frantic woman reporting a stabbing. When authorities arrived, paramedics and firefighters were already on scene, performing CPR to a 9-year-old boy. Investigators learned that the children's parents were asleep upstairs when the 12-year-old daughter woke them up and told them she had just stabbed her brother. The boy was rushed to a local hospital and underwent surgery. However, he succumbed to his injuries at just after 2:30 a.m. Her sister was taken into custody and is currently being held at the Family Center for Juvenile Justice. Tulsa Police Captain Richard Muhlenberg spoke about the situation and said it's a real tearjerker. "I mean, it's really terrible," he said. "It's hard enough to think about anybody taking someone else's life. It's especially hard when you're talking about a child to another child's life, and even more so when you're talking about siblings. This is going to be a long process. At this time we don't have a motive, and it's just sad for everyone involved," he said. The investigation into the matter continues. 5 people were found dead inside a High Point, North Carolina home over the weekend, which the authorities are investigating as a murder-suicide. At around 7:05 a.m. on Saturday, the 7th of January, authorities responded to the 2700 block of Mossy Meadow Drive after receiving 911 calls about 2 people running from a home screaming for help. Officers came into contact with the couple and determined that they came from 2734 Mossy Meadow Drive. Police forced entry into the residence and found 5 people dead inside. Of the 5 victims, 3 were juveniles and 2 were adults. Captain Matt Truitt of the High Point Police Department said there were 4 adults in the house during the incident, and 2 of them, who police first encountered, had escaped to find help, he said. One neighbour, who remains anonymous, said that she and her parents were woken up by 2 people ringing the doorbell over and over, shouting for help. That's when she decided to call police. She said she didn't know what to do, so she called 911 and left it up to them because she didn't want to put her or her family's lives at risk. Both of the people who ran from the home were not injured. They were both questioned and released by police. Police have not yet released the names and ages of the victims. The High Point Police said that this is an active and ongoing investigation, and there will not be any further information released at this time to protect the investigation. Glendale Police in Arizona said that a 28-year-old man was arrested last month after he stabbed a man who was going for a jog. At just before 8 p.m. on the 13th of December, officers responded to the area of 5700 West Glen Drive for a stabbing. Upon arrival, officers located the victim, who had sustained a stab wound to his body. The victim advised that he was out for a run in the area when he was confronted and pushed by a suspect, Jerome Pipkins. Jerome proceeded to stab the victim with a knife. He fled the area prior to the arrival of officers, but not before dropping his wallet, which contained his identification. On the 23rd of December, detectives arrested Jerome, who was found to be in possession of meth. Jerome was booked for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated assault resulting in serious injury, and possession of a dangerous drug.